All right, so we just got the official patch notes for 1.14. So let's hop in and take a look and see what we got coming. Time has come to reveal another update highlight and take a peek at what we have in store. Update is entirely focused on quality of life. Good job. That's a good move. Several frequently requested improvements are going live. All right, so the first one and the big one is artifact filter. Fantastic. We've been waiting on this for a long time. Seems like it's a little overdue, but it's happening, so we'll take it, right? We're not going to complain about it. It looks like there's some really nice aspects to it, too. It shows here who the particular artifact is equipped on, so you can see things that are equipped, just new. It seems like a pretty solid system. They certainly have had enough time to work it out and make sure that it feels fluid, that it is a good system, and that it's got a lot of nice features. So let's hope that it is as good as it appears to be, okay? We've already talked about it, so there's not a ton to cover with the artifact filter. We know what it is generally, and we've been wanting it for a long time, and it seems to be coming, so we'll take it. Collection capacity increased. Good news, the innkeeper's blah, 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 blah. We expect it to be complete by the time the update goes live, which, okay, and to double the number of champions that can stick outside the vault. So just your inventory on the left there, 200 champions once all the slots have been unlocked. Now this aggravates me a little bit. This aggravates me a little bit, if I'm going to be completely honest with it. Yes, we've been saying we need more storage for a while, and they're doing it. However, again, I have to go back to, there are not even enough slots of storage in the game for every champion in the game. And you know, we can be 95% sure anyway that it's going to be pretty expensive to upgrade, and that it's going to get increasingly expensive to upgrade. So I am a little aggravated, and it's probably going to, what does it usually do? 10 slots at a time? And right now I think I'm up to, it's several hundred gems per expansion right now, and I'm only at like 250 in my vault. So I would hope that they have significantly decreased the cost of this, because there's just not enough storage as it is. So I hope that this is not like, you know, a couple thousand gems investment to do this. I hope that it's not really that bad. I guess we'll see what happens. But it would be a real good look to give us at least some of this straight out of the gate without us having to spend to upgrade it. So we'll see. We'll see what they do. Now here's one I wasn't expecting to come in this update. We've been talking about it for a little bit, and a lot of people have been commenting on my videos as I'm covering the news that we get on this update. Where's the clan boss counter, right? So here it is. It looks like it's coming. It looks good. Turns and damage. That's it. There's not really a lot to say. Again, another thing there's not a lot to say about it. It's fairly straightforward. We've been wanting it for a long time. Again, maybe a little overdue, but it's happening, and I'm sure that we're all going to be grateful for it. So there you go. Not a lot to cover there. I'm happy it's coming. It looks solid. Got nothing to say about it. Now again, we got the balance patches. I'm sorry, the champ balances, and we've covered this for the most part. Now, I have not gone in and compared these to the old notes, so we can glance over this real quick and see what it is we've got going. Now, Lord Chamfort will now scale, his damage will scale on HP, which is really cool, right? That's a cool additional change to him. He actually becomes pretty viable now. We've got a first turn defense break that scales on HP. We have a second skill that scales on HP, and the multipliers are going to be higher because it's an A2. We've got a shield value doubled, and it doesn't say anything about breaking the shield now. Now it just says decrease speed on enemies that attack this champion. We'll see how that translates in game. But it's really cool that they gave him the change where now he scales his damage off of HP on top of the other things he does. He actually might become pretty viable now. So again, we'll have to see how it translates in gameplay. Now, Mashaled, looks like that's the same. And speed buff, tip, interfere. Yeah, Mashaled's going to be something serious. I've been bringing him up in the background as I'm working on other things, because by the time this goes live, I guess I need to expedite him a little bit, because I want to play with him whenever it goes live. So I'm going to go ahead and get him ready so that I can get a video up for you guys displaying what he's capable of, because this is crazy. He is now top tier based on these changes, at least on paper. I can't imagine how this would translate poorly and him actually not be good. Tornado. But yeah, I'm excited to give him a shot. Warchief, provoke chance increase, cooldown reduction, steals 2 buffs. Okay, interesting. We're familiar with all this. Yeah. Looks like she got nerfed, but not really, because they changed Veil. Oathbound. Occult Brawler now, his cooldown no longer has a cooldown. I was under the impression that at a 1-turn cooldown, it didn't really have a cooldown anyway. I thought that I guess I never paid attention, and I haven't used it that much. Maybe he's got an off turn. I was under the impression that it was just there every turn. The 1-turn cooldown was the turn. You know what I mean? Maybe that's incorrect, but either way, now it has no cooldown, so every turn it'll happen. Again, I thought it happened every turn anyway, but I haven't used him much, so maybe some of you guys can straighten me out on that one. Faction Wars. Peruvians and Faction Wars are twofold, and will touch upon the difficulty of certain crypt stages and the drop rates of various glyphs. Now, these are two things that did need addressing for sure. Even with the recent changes, always monitoring your feedback closely and comparing it with game metrics available to the dev team. With that in mind, we've decided to make all faction crypts a bit easier to complete starting from stage 8. Fair. In addition, we're lowering the drop rates of rank 2 glyphs from stages 10 to 12, and will completely remove them from stages 13 to 14. Glyphs of ranks 3 and 4 will get increased drop rates. Excellent. It has always been a point of contention for me that the stages that high still drop rank 2 glyphs. So good changes. Those are very good changes. Now something I would like to see changed is 6-star glyphs still rolling minimum rolls, right? 6-star speed glyphs should not roll a 1. It should not be possible to roll a 1 on a 6-star speed glyph. But again, these are decent changes right now. I don't expect them to do everything all at once, and I don't expect perfection at all. So these are some solid changes. I'll be interested to see what the difficulty change in Faction Wars feels like, and it is nice that they've adjusted the glyph drops in the crypts. So again, I'll take it. This is looking really good so far, man. Really, really good. Platinum tier. We're going to introduce a small change to how battles in Platinum tier work. After fighting the same opponent 10 times in a day, both victories and defeats count. Every subsequent battle with that opponent will trigger a 15-minute cooldown that will not disappear until... Will trigger a 15-minute cooldown that will not disappear after the arena list is refreshed. Okay. What this means, you will not be able to fight the same opponent until the cooldown runs out, though you will be able to fight others on your list. We've included this change to limit farming. Every subsequent battle with that opponent will trigger a 15-minute cooldown that will not disappear. That will not disappear after the arena list is refreshed. Okay. So it seems like an attempt. I don't know how effective that's going to be. I guess it will depend on how many people that the people who are boosting have at their disposal, right? If a whole clan, for example, is helping boost one of their members, I don't think this is going to have too much of an impact, right? Attacks and defenses count. I saw that somewhere, right? Both victories and defeats, not defenses. So they can still go back and forth 20 times, ultimately. And then there's just the cooldown, right? So if you've still got a handful of people even, that's plenty. That's plenty of points to still farm a day. I don't think this solves the problem. I think probably a different take here. would be the way to go. But I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see how it works. Maybe I don't mess around much in platinum anymore, and I've never been one to farm in that sense. You know, when I'm pushing in a game in arena, I will go in and hit people. You know, I start to recognize names, and I know who I can get it and out on real quick, right? So I mean, that's pretty standard. But as far as going back back and forth with someone intentionally or having someone boost me, I don't have a lot of experience with that. So I don't really know how much of effect. I have no experience with that. So I don't really know how this is going to affect it. But it just seems like the math. It seems like the math isn't there to really slow it down. Again, if you've got a handful of people, and I would imagine that some of these people have multiple accounts, right? The people that have the resources financially at their disposal can get a handful of accounts up into platinum and do it themselves, right? They don't even need anyone else to help. But if they do have other people to help too, I just don't know that this is going to have an impact. And if I'm 100% honest, I don't know that Plarium wants this to have an impact. I think that there's a lot of money in allowing people to do this, right? The rate that they're burning through gems and having to spend money to buy more gems for this, I don't know that they want it fixed. If I'm just flat out honest about it, I don't know that they care. But I guess we'll see what kind of impact this has and what sort of changes they make on it moving forward, if the changes are still necessary. But again, maybe some of you that are more familiar with how things work at that level, or any of you that have any experience with that, can let me know if you think this is going to have any kind of impact. I don't know that I think it will. Clan Boss Revive changes. Really a continuation of the changes we introduced in 1.13. Starting from turn 50, the Demon Lord will apply a block Revive. Okay, so I know that there are a few teams out now that are Revive comps. They're not unkillable, but they are unkillable in the sense that they are Revive teams, so they will just keep going and going. So now this puts a stop to that as well. So now literally once it hits turn 50, your days are numbered. There's really no way around it at this point. He's now hitting through unkillable and blocking Revive, and by turn 50 he's going to be pumping out some heavy damage, so it's going to be very difficult to stick around beyond 50 turns. So fine, you know, whatever. Leech and Veil, Perfect Veil. Each of these effects is getting a little buff. We've covered this already. Now their Leech is 18%, and Veil and Perfect Veil now give 7.5 and 15% damage respectively from AoE attacks. Changes are going to have a profound impact on other aspects of the game. For example, champions like Mashaled, who also got buffs on top of everything else, as you can see, will become more valuable and powerful thanks to the healing output of Leech. Yeah, now we're talking about 48% from his A1. That's a full heal. I don't care how you slice that. If you put an AoE Leech up especially, and he hits everybody at a 48% Leech, that's a full heal every time he uses his A1. So you're gonna have to one-shot him. Duchess undergone some changes to ensure AoE damage reduction does not get out of hand. Right? Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. She's not really too much different ultimately. So fine, great. Fear changes. We took some time to monitor fear debuffs and will apply certain limitations. Like other crowd control debuffs, it will no longer be subject to increased debuff duration or spread debuffs. I'm about that. I dig that. That can be kind of problematic. Applies to Master Hexer and Sniper Masters as well. They will no longer increase the chance of applying. Okay, fair. I can't really be too upset about that. Following masteries will now affect or include fear or true fear. Okay, I'd have to go in and look at these masteries. I don't remember what they all do by name, if I'm going to be totally honest with you. We'll have to go in and look at that later. And then fusion menu will display champs who are required for specific fusion but are locked up. Fine, good. Thank you. That's really good. Really good overall. It's really good. This is a good update. I know that there's no content, okay? And I know that some of us are going to be aggravated about that. There's no getting around that. Their pace for content has been inexcusably slow, right? But as far as what needed doing and as far as their past updates go, this looks easily like the best one they've ever done. Okay, we're getting a lot of things we've been wanting for a while, and again, I know it's overdue, but I have to say, I really can't be upset with this. This is a good quality of life update to the game. I think this is going to make the game a lot better overall. And then in 1.15, there really needs to be some content, okay? But this is a good pattern. This is a good start. It's good that you shoved aside content to make some changes to your game. This is, again, I've said this a couple times as I've been covering this. This is what we've been wanting. These are the things we've been wanting for a long time. I'm very interested to see this update in action. I'm interested to see when it actually drops. I'm assuming since we have the patch notes that early April, I'm hoping the first week of April is when this will go live. And it just doesn't look like there's a lot to mess up here, you know? Like when you drop a lot of content, like if you dropped a Void Tower or when they drop Faction Wars or whatever it is, when there's a lot of content like that, there's a lot of possibility for issues with an update. So unless the servers just bug out, I don't really even see a lot to mess up here. Maybe some of these won't work as intended, which again is fine. I don't demand perfection all the time or anything, but I have to say, as much shit as I've given them, you know, I've always kind of been sitting back hoping that at some point they would start to do things like this, right? None of this again, and there are things that I would like to be different about it, for sure. I don't think it's perfect, but I think it's really good. I do think it's good. So I am excited for it. I hope that this continues. I don't know what has changed at Plarium. You know, they're engaging with the content creators on a little bit of a different level with the gold rush that some of the guys are doing. They're actually addressing some big quality of life issues and making some changes to the game. They're making some legendaries that have been sitting in the vault since the game started a little more viable, a little more interesting. They're doing a lot of things we've been asking for a long time, and whether or not this was their plan all along, you know what I mean? Whether their plan was to just milk hard until it stopped working or people got too fed up with it and then start doing what they knew they were supposed to do, or it really just took them this long, you know, if whoever was calling the shots was really that dense. I don't know. I guess I ultimately don't care as long as the game gets better. That's really what I want to see, is them make this game what it could be, and I feel like this is a pretty good start, if I'm going to be honest. So I am interested to know how you guys feel about this. The clan boss counter was a surprise to me. I didn't expect that. I haven't even heard that mentioned yet in any of the conversations that I've had or seen in our content creator chat or anything like that. I had no idea this was coming, so I'll be interested to know what you guys think about the update. I know that some of you are going to be pretty pleased for this alone. I've gotten a lot of comments about the clan boss damage counter, so let me know how you guys feel about this update. Again, is it at least a good start? I feel like it's a good start. They have a ways to go, for sure, but this is a good start. So let's keep our fingers crossed that this all goes well. And then in 1.15, they really start to focus on content. Maybe we can get our new clan boss. Maybe we can get the clan boss issues sorted out as far as enough damage for a whole clan. Maybe we get a void tower. You know, maybe we start getting things like that addressed. And this game can really start to level up and get back to, you know, the pace that it was on and what it should be. This game really should be so much better than it has been. So I hope that this is the beginning of this game becoming what it should be, right? It would be great for everybody. Everybody wins if this game gets better, so fingers crossed. I'm going to let myself get optimistic here. There's a voice in my head telling me, you know better. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to let myself get optimistic about this, and we'll see how it goes. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think. I've rambled long enough. Very interested to hear thoughts and opinions and feelings on this, and that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.